Welcome everyone to GEEKLETES Studios here in Dallas, Texas. This is Monk Spot here on Spot On Sports, where we're not just accurate but spot on. And it is the gift that keeps on giving. It is Thanksgiving week in NFL. It's week 12 actually, and joining me to give thanks for these games that we're about to get ready to enjoy are the hosts that I am thankful for. B-Walk, host of the Walker Review, you know him, love him. And a new face of the team, Brianna Franklin, UT grad, broadcast journalist amazing. So we're glad to have her on. Shout out to the UT Longhorns.
Hook on!
There you go.
Hook on!
Guys, it is week 12, so we got a slew of games to get into. We'll start with the Bears and the Lions. The Chicago Bears will travel to the Detroit Lions Thursday. So this is the pre-dinner before the dinner.
This is when your mama heating up her greens and her stuffing. This is when the food ready.
Wait for the games. There we go. Possibly no Mitchell Trubisky. Could be probably has a shoulder injury. He is day-to-day. Did not practice on Tuesday. B-Walk, I'll start with you. What are we looking for as far as this Bears and Lions matchup?
It's crazy just the similarity we see year by year during these Thanksgiving games, because it's like we always see Cowboys versus the Redskins, or we always see Detroit versus the Packers, or Bears versus the Packers, or even Bears versus Detroit. So what I'm looking to see, one, I really do believe Mitchell Trubisky is going to play. It's only day to day, and he was able to finish the game against the Vikings last week. But they do have Chase Daniels. He is a very reliable quarterback for them to have as a backup. But it's not really going to be told on the offense. As long as Khalil Mack is on the field,
true,
Stafford doesn't really have a chance. I know for a fact, I can say this. The Bears running backs are going to have a very good game, because even with Detroit going to get Snacks Harrison from the Giants, still hasn't helped that running defense, so they're going to get gashed by a lot by their running backs.
Brandon, the Lions did beat Carolina 6-14. Now 6-3 at the time.
Blaine Cam.
Hey, yeah, right, Blaine Cam. But they are considered to be a playoff team at the moment. Are we dismissing Matthew Stafford and what he could do?
I don't think so. It's Matthew Stafford. He's gonna put up numbers. He does that year after year, and he'll put up numbers this week.
I definitely agree. It's not.
And plus, they have a running back.
It's not his fault. Like, when he had Calvin Johnson, they didn't have a running back. When they got Kerryon Johnson, now all of their receivers, they got
Kenny Galladay's a good receiver, and Marvin Jones.
They were tripping when they traded Golden Tate. I don't know what they
for whatever reason.
Yeah.
For what? You got who are you gonna get for fourth or fifth round pick that's gonna give you the same production as Golden Tate?
True.
So I feel like a lot of the onus and blame goes on the front office. A lot of people don't talk about. Only team that you talk about the front office a lot with is Cowboys.
Yeah,
Jerry Jones is so
right.
upfront about his mindset and how he wants to run his team. But the Lions been pooping it since Barry Sanders. I'm just saying. Like, can you get it right at least once you got a stable quarterback that can put up numbers? You don't know how many people in NFL teams beg for that kind of production. I.e. Bills. I.e. What's another team that need? Well, I'm not gonna. Oakland is just trash right now, so they just need to go ahead and restart it. But they just need to do better as a front office. Team-wise, they're pretty stable. They need to really revamp. They need to just go ahead and delete that defense and start over, and just keep building on that offense, because they now have a stable quarterback, stable running back. Galladay is the truth. They still need a tight end. Offensive line is coming together. But defense, what offense can continue to score if defense is going out there and always letting the offense put points up?
Well, you mentioned control the lead on the defense, and Matt Patricia will be just the guy to do that. Speaking of defense, the Bears, they rank 6th in points allowed with 19.5 a game.
Goddamn Khalil, man.
Right, in the NFC, how I see the Bears as the underdog, and not the underdog, the dark horse, as the team that we see them, but in the shadow of the Saints and the Rams, and I think that people may be mitigating them, because with this defense can compete with anybody. So like I said, with the Bears, first of all, I do think they're going to steamroll Detroit. You all right? Matthew Stafford can definitely give them a tough time.
I don't know if it's going to be a steamroll, but it's going to be a hit. It's gonna be a close game until the end, and Khalil Mack's gonna take it.
Depending on how healthy Mitchell Trubisky is going to be.
I still believe in Chase Daniels over. It's not even going quarterback versus quarterback. With the weapons that Chicago has and the defense that Chicago has, you can bring Tim McMahon back out there. They're gonna get a hit dub. Just saying.
Moving to the next game, how about them Cowboys? They take on the Washington Redskins. This will be round 2.
Let them know. Let them know.
The Cowboys did fall to the Redskins before, but they do have another shot. And this is the game that will decide who will be the division leader. Brianna, how do you feel about the Cowboys' chances?
I think we're gonna get the W. We're gonna get the W. Alex Smith is done for the season. Unfortunately, that's really sad. But yeah, Colt McCoy. He's not gonna be able to do it. Our defense is coming back. I'm sorry, I love Colt McCoy, but he's not gonna come through this game. Our defense, we're getting healthy. Antoine Woods is coming back. We're gonna have some depth on that D line. Our cornerback, was it Chidobe, Chibo, Awuzie? Awuzie. He's been a little sketchy on the corner, but Byron is my guy.
They better get their checkbooks out.
And Leighton Vander Esch.
Leighton, rookie of the defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, on the Cowboys. I like that. I like the Thanksgiving love that we're getting right now.
It's been happening. Well, did we lose last year? I think, yeah, we showed that I had blasted by the Chargers last year.
That was.
But, like she said, Cowboys finna get this dub.
Yes.
Because things I say like this: if Alex Smith was playing, sorry, he's not. It's crazy how he broke his leg the same day as
basically the same way
as
Demon.
the Theismann.
And the thing is, he was in the booth. I was like, bro, you should have never came to the game. But
same yard line, same by a defensive player that was defensive. MVP the year before. So yeah, it was.
So
like
going with that, it's just even if Alex Smith played, I feel like it would have been a competitive game. But when you lose 3 starters on your offensive line, like Cowboys are making do with only 2, but really just 1, because Joe Looney is really in his mind set to be the starter since off season, since Travis Frederick went down. But Xavier Su'a-Filo, he had to come in and really catch up.
Season vet, that second round pick. I think a lot of people underhanding him and how good he would be.
And the thing is, I feel like after this year, our offensive line is going to get better, because the thing is, a lot of people are thinking about you just throw all this money to re-sign DeMarcus Lawrence and Byron Jones. They need to put some money together to make sure you keep Joe Looney and Xavier, because when Fredericks comes back, and Connor Williams needs a full year in the weight room.
Sure.
He does not suck. He's just not strong enough to handle the NFL pressure and the power. But we always talk about depth in our offensive line. If you have 3 to 4 solid backups, what can we move? And we always include an additional lineman when we go on run plays and passing plays, just like that. You will literally have between 7 to 8 linemen you can put into the game at any point in time and not miss a beat.
And this is what I will say about the Redskins, especially with the Cowboys Redskins matchup here. You throw all the records out the window, and I'm bringing this back to 2014 when the Cowboys did play Colt McCoy, and the Redskins won their game against a better Cowboys team than we see today.
I ain't worried about Colt.
I know, but all I'm saying is when you're dealing with the Redskins,
Yeah,
you just have to be cautious, B. You gotta be cautious.
About what? Only thing we need to figure out is how you finna run the ball against the Alabama D tackles.
Right.
That's it.
They shut it down last time.
Payne and Allen. That's it. That's the only thing you need to worry about. I'm not worried about the secondary. Just even if they added Clinton Dix, I'm not worried about them. Because then again, we're not just a pass-heavy offense anyway. We go off of where Zeke takes us.
Right.
Now, if they can come up with creative styles and not only get them off balance and get those 2 out, because Ryan Kerrigan, yeah, he's been consistent for a couple of years, but they really feed off those 2 Alabama players that they have. If you can get Zeke moving, that opens up the entire offense. Our defense is going to thrash their offense. Only way I can see our defense struggling is, honestly, if Colt McCoy comes out with something really to prove and begins to light our defense up it's going to be in the first 2 quarters, because we're not really going to expect it at that point in time. And then we're gonna have to be playing catch up, which is gonna eliminate Zeke from the game in the running portion, and we're gonna have to depend on that to throw the ball.
We're moving through the full course meal, and we're on to Thursday night football. The Falcons will travel to the Dome to take on the New Orleans Saints. Brianna, could the Falcons somehow play spoiler?
No. It's about to be a blowout.
Damn.
It's about to be a blowout.
I agree.
They have too many weapons, meaning New Orleans. You can't stop Ingram or Kamara. They have Michael Thomas. And the rookie that just went off.
Yes.
Javon.
And the thing is, I'm like, and it's
They have
crazy.
too many weapons. And it's
They
Drew
really
Brees.
do. They really do.
And they're at home. Not happening.
Not to
I don't
mention
see
Drew
it.
Brees is completing 77% of his passes this season.
Atlanta's defense is not even close.
They're missing 3 key guys.
They're not. Because the thing is, yes, Atlanta will be able to put up points
Oh, for sure.
on the Saints, but as far as it comes down to their defense, they finna match the gas, bro. And they not finna look back. So, I mean, it's gonna, again, it's a divisional matchup. Atlanta hates the Saints hate the Falcons, cool. But it's just as far as talent-wise, Atlanta can't match up.
Now, let's go to the defense side of the ball for both teams. Like we get the Falcons, the Saints defense is an all-world despite them being 9-1. Could the Falcons somehow make use of that and still be able to put up points on this defense to keep pace with the Saints?
I mean, Saints have a very good run defense. So, I mean, they don't have Foreman. They have Tevin Coleman. Yeah, that's honestly.
They're hurting without Devonta Freeman in the
But the
run.
thing is, Devontae Freeman has never just been just.
He's been a good back.
He's been all right. He's been all right. He's not been just all American, all pro. He's been all right.
He's solid. He
They
plays
utilized 2 running backs consistently for the last 2 or 3 years
Right.
since they got Tevin Coleman. But I mean, I'm gonna say it like this: if you eliminate the run, the Saints have at least decent cornerbacks and safeties enough to kind of contain Julio. If you kind of take Julio out the game and leave it to Ridley and Sanu, you're in a good spot.
I mean, they can still put up numbers too.
I agree. I would much rather have Sanu and Ridley put up numbers than Julio Jones. Because when you allow all 3 to start putting up numbers, that's when you kind of open the door to an actual loss.
And Julio is going to get, he's actually averaging like 118 receiving yards a game.
He'll get a touchdown. I don't think he'll have 100 yards though.
Give Marshawn
I think he'll have 100.
I think a touchdown, probably 75 yards.
Move on to Sunday's games. It gets a little bit more competitive. We keep it in the division, but the first one is a wild card battle in the making. We have the Panthers as they take on the Seattle Seahawks. The Panthers are coming out that loss. Cam. Oh, Cam.
I ain't doing that.
Took it down by the Detroit Lions, man. But the Seahawks, still a formidable team despite not having Legion of Boom anymore. Who gets this game, bro?
Panthers. Cam is coming home for some home cooking. Some home cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they barely lost to Detroit,
You get some of Mama ribs.
and you can't stop Superman. I'm sorry, Cam's from.
They got a mini Superman for Seattle too. You know,
I mean,
Russell
but
Wilson and Russ we trust.
Nah, he built like Robin. Yeah, Superman. But I'm gonna say this because you mentioned the Legion of Boom. Their defense is not really. I mean, it's dropped off.
Yeah,
But
But
still
it's not.
good.
It's
a good
not like it's just. It's a Legion. I don't know about no Boom, but it's a Legion. So they can still move.
Defense coordinator
Yeah,
Ken
true.
Norton.
Mhm.
Okay, he has had these guys playing some really good ball. We saw that when they did play the Cowboys,
Mhm.
right? So, and that's what amazed me the most. Even when Earl Thomas fell off, they were still able to keep up the safety play as well as the play for the defensive backs. I honestly have the Seahawks winning this game against Panthers. I think because what's the one thing that the Panthers did bad last week? Tackling. What's the one thing that you don't need to have going wrong for you against Russell Wilson? Tackling.
That's true.
And then they have shifty receivers. We know how Tyler Lockett is. He can beat you on the deep ball. He can beat you inside. So I really feel good about the Seahawks.
I agree because just the matchup itself is more favorable for the Seahawks than it is Carolina because Russell is very comfortable in that offense and with his receivers, and other than Kuechly and their defensive line, Panthers really don't have enough to really stop an actual throwing offense. Now, whoever they choose to run, whether it's Chris Carson or Davis or Penny, they're not really going to be able to get off the way they want to against that Panthers defensive line, especially with Kuechly kind of maneuvering. And then going forward with Russell, I mean, Russell has played the same way ever since
he's got in the league, right?
And he's literally always carried the team on his back. I see that happening again where it'll be a kind of close-up game, and he's going to have that last drive that either gets him in the field goal range or absolutely wins the game. But, I mean, if you come down to where you're saying Cam versus the Seattle defense, even if it's not the Legion of Boom, I'm still taking this defense because they're formidable enough to really kind of hold Cam in his own. And Cam has been struggling kind of lately. Like they literally should have won last week. That was all
I mean,
on
it was
Cam.
a bad throw. It definitely was a bad throw.
Moving on to our last game, the Vikings, they traveled to Lambeau to take on that bad man Aaron Rodgers. At least he's still a bad man despite his team not being as bad as he is.
It's not his fault.
Yeah, it's not. And I guess I'll start with this one. I think with the Packers, and I'm not saying they're in the part of the season or need to sell out or do something different, but they need to cater to what Aaron Rodgers really wants. And he didn't get, and despite him getting tight end, Jimmy Graham, you know,
He just broke his thumb. He's gonna try to play through.
Right. You see, with his injuries, they started piling up, and then they let go of Ty Montgomery after he disobeyed the coach. I think they need to retool a lot of things on offense, even with the offensive line, because Aaron Rodgers has taken quite a couple of licks over the last couple of years. Now he's still finding some way to scamper on the bad knee, which is still healing. But I just think the Vikings may have too much defense for the Packers to be able to.
You don't agree? What?
Bro, the Vikings have not showed me anything. Like, it seemed like they regressed. I'm not
No,
scared.
they regressed.
I'm being honest. It was the last year Xavier Woods scared me. What is he doing now? Nothing. And to be honest, even since Kirk, I've never believed in Kirk Cousins since he was
I thought Kirk would fit into the mold of the
I'm
Vikings.
being honest. He fits in. Yeah, if he needs, like, he's a better passer.
The running game
than
is
Case
as good as it could have
Keenum.
been.
But that's the only confusing part. Fam, you have Dalvin Cook. Latavius Murray is able to be a solid backup. Is it the line? Is it not healthy enough? Because to be honest, before Dalvin Cook got hurt last year, literally he was running all over.
He was running all over the place, right?
So why the regression? I mean, even though he missed some games this year, Latavius Murray didn't miss a beat. He was able to have a solid running game, but now that they have both of them, they can't seem to. You got two running backs that can give you 100 yards, but you're only averaging 84 yards a game. So I'm not afraid of the Vikings defense because I don't know. It's a regression with that too because they don't seem to scare me. Kendricks used to be all over the field.
Yeah, the whole front seven was all over the field. They almost let the league get sacks last year. They almost let it interceptions last year. And the defense has come up short in numerous games. Right, that has made the Vikings a 5-4-1.
So I'm taking like this. Aaron Rodgers, McCarthy's gonna be gone next year. They're gonna find an offensive-minded head coach that's gonna really listen to what Aaron Rodgers wants, get the players that he wants, and then their offense is gonna take off. They still need to. I'm happy with the Packers did in the draft because now they don't have to worry about the secondary. Now they can focus on their D-line and their linebackers. But I'm taking it for the Packers because Aaron Rodgers is gonna still carve up that Minnesota defense because they have Devontae Adams. I don't know how much of an impact Jimmy Graham will give with that broken thumb. I've never caught up.
I like the kid. The kid that's coming on, Valdez Scanty. We got the long.
They have a lot of really young receivers. Brown from Notre Dame. Yeah. Randall Cobb is done, so he get out of there. But I mean, they have it's the I want to call it the Tom Brady effect because that's just I want to say the elite quarterback effect. When you have an elite quarterback, you can make any receiver really good. Yeah. Same thing that Tom Brady did because he's literally working with Devontae Adams and rookies. And you can tell when he throws passes and the receivers are not there. You give him that pop. Get over it. And it's literally
So you're going Packers?
I'm going Packers.
You going Packers too?
I'm going Vikings. I'm going Vikings.
She's going with the Prince.
I'm going Vikings. If there was having to be a shootout, which defense do you trust? I trust the Vikings defense.
I do trust the Vikings. In the shootout.
Well,
Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen, and not to mention the season that Adam Thielen was having in the first half with like 7 straight games of 100+ yards. So I look,
Sleep on these corners.
No, I'm not sleeping on. I like Kevin King.
Mhm.
I like the other young cat. that-
Alexander from
Alex.
Louisville.
Yeah, Alexander.
What's his name? Colorado. Yeah.
But going up against seasoned receivers
Right.
like Stephon and Adam Thielen.
Yes.
won't
And
be
Rudolph. Don't count
Over
Rudolph.
seasoning can be bad for your food. So that's all I'm saying.
right. Overseason ain't gonna be bad on Thanksgiving.
Diabetes.
Guys, we thank you for tuning in to Month Talk. Before we go,
We
it
lost
is Thanksgiving. What are you guys thankful for?
So I'll let her go first.
Thankful for the Cowboys somewhat turning it around.
Well,
I hope it's not fool's gold, but it looks good right now.
Gonna give us an illusion. What I'm thankful for? That's a good question. I'm thankful to be alive. And that I was able to be, and Cowboy fans, listen up. Emotionally remove yourself from the Cowboys. It's okay. You won't
It's
be
hard.
mad about the L's if they take
It's
them.
hard.
Just remove yourself emotionally. You don't get paid to root for the Cowboys. It's a choice. Always remember that. It's a choice. Okay?
Here we go. I am too thankful for the Cowboys are turning it around. It's a little bit.
Yes.
They make my weeks just a little bit more enjoyable. And
More the money.
also thankful for the guys here at Spot on Sports, all of you guys and everyone behind the cameras, Carter, Nicole, Quincy, all of you guys that work so hard. And we thank you guys for tuning into Monk Spot here on Spot on Sports. Comment, rate, subscribe, drop a like. We definitely appreciate it. This is Spot on Sports, so we're not just accurate, we're spot on.